Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the mukbang of the 7th or 7th November. I was right. Never doubt yourself. Hope you're doing well. Having a wonderful day. It is kind of cold, but not too cold. Kind of nice, but not too nice. We're doing a mukbang today once again. As you can see, we're doing 2 types of ramen. So, no energy drink today. I think you can take a day off. You can take a day off. Not too deep. It's stop thinking. I like it better when my car has sounds. 21 pallet car radio. So yes, so today is a mukbang, and it's the same idea. Look at this shit. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be awake. It's to be think. It's for us to think. It's to be alive, and I will try until certain. You know you need to try. Think. I had these thoughts. I put them on the heart. That's what I'm about to. Somebody stole my car radio, and I just sit in silence. This song, bro. This song changed my fucking life. This song, car radio, changed my fucking life. I remember. It's complicated. I'm not gonna talk about that. I got a subject picked out for today. But car radio was such an important song for me. I had my big depression, right? I was 22, like I told you before, and I was in so much pain, and slowly started to heal. And when I slowly started to heal, then something wonderful happened. That pain wasn't replaced with happiness as I thought it would. It was replaced with emptiness. Now instead of feeling something, I was feeling nothing. And that song is unbelievable. That song is unbelievable. So that song, long story short, what it does, it's a song about a guy, right, who's dealing with a lot of shit. He has this awful life. He's dealing. And the nicest thing about the song is he doesn't tell you what he's dealing with. He doesn't tell you, hey, I'm dealing with this. I'm dealing with this. This is why I'm like that. Doesn't tell you because you don't need to know. A person should be sad. They're sad. And this is the exact subject of the mukbang today. By the way, inspired by this. Well, technically no. You think like he was inspired by yesterday's video. Yesterday's video we did a social, right? And we talk about how wrong I was versus the bully and what I could improve, right? And now we're gonna talk about not necessarily a part 2, but it's following. It's inspired. It is a nice successor or prequel or sequel. I'm French. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So long story short, so this guy lives this shitty life, right? And he has one thing that helps him. One fucking thing that helps him. It's car radio. Because as long as he's listening to music, he's able to endure. He's able to escape. Which is something I did for so fucking long. I would go to work and I couldn't stand being more than a couple minutes without music. I would go nuts. I would be in so much pain. Right? And 21 Pilots did this song. Like, dude, I was okay before somebody stole my car radio. Now I'm stuck thinking out loud, having these thoughts. And these thoughts, it's so nice because it doesn't precise the thoughts. It doesn't precise them. Just like, I can't escape them. I can't escape my own mind. I had escaped, somebody stole it. It's beautiful. Yesterday we talked about this. We talked about something similar. We talked about social. And it was a really nice talk because I'm realizing that the channel, look at this. There's lots. I'm realizing that the channel in itself is bit spicy but delicious. Really good. Seafood and cheese. It's a fucking nice meal. Putting some meat. And I'm finding this. I'm going back a lot of my past, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know if it's the ADZ, but I kind of avoided my past. I'm gonna look at my past. Did I have the nicest past? No. Did I have the worst past? Fuck no. Fuck no. If I'm looking at myself as my past and my childhood, my adulthood, I'm one of the lucky one. I was very lucky. I had parents that loved me. I had a good household. I had strict parents that cared about my education. I was very lucky. So I don't know why I'm not looking at it um as much as I am. The human existence, distance in the letting see all my and my car I've shown. See, I was very lucky, and I think that's why I kind of treated people like shit. See, for example, right? And I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this very cool, very cool example. Take a rich person, right? Take a extremely rich people, and they have kids. Those kids are raised in a quality of life that is here, right? And then economy hits, and those people ended up being scammers, and they fucked over a lot of people. They go to jail. The kid, right, lived a normal life because they're not guilty. They don't have any association. I know what you're saying, bro. This is the plot of broke girl. It's it's the plot of a lot of people, and it's something that happened in real life for a shit ton of people. I just watched White Chick, which is a fucking comedy, but this is what's going on. And then they're like, oh fuck, I don't want to be eating that junk food. I want some quality meal. And you're in your head thinking, what bunch of assholes. I never had that. Then they complain that they don't have it when they had it before. I never had it once. When was it my turn? But you're complaining to a person that was born like that. They didn't choose to be born like that. They didn't choose to be born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They didn't choose to be born with no spoon in their mouth. And I know what you're gonna say. Well, ink it depends. You can say, oh, they could have chosen to be a bit better. They could have chosen to be a bit more grounded. Okay, cool. But if they didn't know that there was something else, another reality, understand? So, back to the subject. This is exactly what's going on. The subject of the day was inspired by this song. It's also inspired by the fact that I had a person block me, and I don't know why they blocked me. And it's funny because that person actually was very supportive, and that person was. It's a cool subject. It's a cool segue. Again, am I mad that they blocked me? No, I don't care. Ultimately speaking, if somebody unfollowed the channel, that's life. It's a tough life, but it's life. See, the problem with this friendship was this person did a lot for me. This person was supporting me when I was getting a lot of hate. She defended me, and then today I was blocked. I knew it was her birthday, but so when I knew it was her birthday, I wish happy birthday 2 times. I'm blocked, and then the first thing that you think when you get blocked or when you get, I wouldn't say rejected because I think there wasn't any romantical interest. She was a friend, you know. She was a friend, and then you're asking yourself, why did I block? And then the first thing that you said is, did I fuck up, right? And then you ask yourself, well, I didn't really do anything that was not bad, right? I didn't do anything that wasn't really awful. But then again, I make fucking 20 videos a day. So there's of course something that I said. There's of course something that I said that's gonna bother somebody. There's of course something I said that people are not gonna be agreeing with. I think it's normal. They did seal the fires, that was desire. Lie my time today. But then you ask yourself, and this is the exact subject of the mukbang today. It's a wonderful subject. You realize one of the biggest lessons I learned. I talked about one of the first big lessons I learned. This is one of the second lessons I learned. Super important. Okay, of course I'm not talking chronologically. I don't fucking remember the order in which I got the best advice of my life. But I can tell you that's one of the best advice. It's not necessarily what you did that matters. It never was. Maybe it is how you make somebody felt. Just maybe. I want to make you guys listen to this. If you didn't ever listen to 21 Pilot Car Radio, I'm going to suggest this. One of the best songs of the band. And the band is a good band, so, you know. So, the way the person felt. And, as a kid, once again, when I was told that I hurt somebody, in my mind, again, you had this kid who was raised alone, who was raised without a lot of friends, who was raised in solitude. What I didn't mention yesterday, what I think is super important, is my parents were very present, and I'm so lucky I had amazing parents. The problem with the the parents, the biggest problem that I had. And again, I'm mostly to blame for it. I'm mostly to blame for it. Um, my mom, she I would go to her house 2 days out of 14, right? And it was constantly a question of we're going out, we're going out. I need to see friends. She needed to get out of the house to see friends. In my mind, I was hurt because I was like, I'm your son. I get to see you 2 days out of 14. I should be enough. You should take a vacation. You can go out on the weekend. I don't care. But please, can I see you? But then again, when I was at my mom, we were in the same room. We were watching the same movie, but I was playing my Game Boy Color, my Game Boy Advance, my DS, my PSP. Yeah, all the time. So I wasn't really with her. You know? Water and lemon extract. Really good. Really cheap. Really nice. It's like a lemonade without sweet. I'll show you what I bought some today. The 3-pack. They're expensive though. They're expensive. I'm gonna show you the bottle. I'm not the sponsor, but I really enjoy that product. True lemon. True lemon. It's only lemonade, right? And what you're gonna do, gonna say it's for cooking, it's for baking. I use it as water. Just like lemon, 0 sugar, 0 calorie, unsweetened. Bro, this is fucking $35, and it's 10.6 ounces or 300 grams. So it's $10 per 100 grams. It's $1 per 10 grams. It's 10 cents per gram. Crazy. So my mom was eating with a kid. I wasn't interested in partaking in the present moment, but asking her to participate, which isn't fair. She participates, I don't. It's not fair. My father, bless his heart, my father was a very present father. My father is like very no bullshit. Very no bullshit. To a point where it's hurtful. You're gonna tell him, hey, I'm gonna talk about him with a subject that he doesn't care about. And he'll tell you that he'll look in you in your eyes, and he'll tell you, I don't care. Which is very rude. However, you would rather somebody fake interest what you're saying or tell you I don't care. And once again, I think the right thing to do is say I don't care. It's hard, it's rude, but right? So my parents were very present, but we didn't have common interest. So I was with them, but we weren't really talking. Once again, I kind of grew up all alone. No friends. Video games were my fucking life, but... And for the longest time, classical lesson or fundamental lesson escaped me. Lesson like... Is that what I'm talking about? Not about what you do, it's about how you make them feel. Right? And for the longest of time, I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna apologize if I did nothing wrong. But it's how you make people feel. See, I'm personally, this is what's complicated. It's complicated. It's a really hard lesson to understand when you think about it. I'm the kind of guy who is all about intent. You can actually hit me, and if I know that your intent wasn't malicious, I'm not gonna be mad. right? I'm not gonna be mad. I had this person, they were lying. They were lying to my face, and I knew they were lying, right? They were young. I think they were 19, and I didn't care about them lying because I knew at that age I would lie too. It's like, okay. But then we had an argument, and she went to tell a common friend, and that common friend told me, "Yo, she's talking shit about you." I'm like, "There's no way we're friends." And then she showed me the screenshot. I was like, "Holy shit," you know. Now, ultimately speaking, you're gonna say what? You're gonna say, is it a harder thing for me, at the very least? Is it a harder thing to be lied to, or to feel betrayed? And I think it depends on the person too. But this is a perfect example. It's how I felt. You lied to me, I'm understanding. You betray me, I'm like, ugh. It's like yikes, you know. And it's how you feel. And I don't know why. For most of my life, I was like, yo, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not gonna apologize. And I kind of. This is something that I've learned really recently. Maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, maximum. Fucking delicious. See, it's. How can I put that? It's a shame. It's a shame because I was like, I didn't put people emotion in my thoughts, and I don't know why I didn't. But then I started doing it. I did it for a month, huge maximum, maybe 24 years old, 25 years old, and I stopped because again, very selfishly, I was like, okay, I understand that you feel that I hurt you, but I don't think I did. So me saying something for me saying sorry for something that I don't feel sorry for is dishonest. Now, ultimately, you guys might know my story with dishonesty. I was very dishonest for a couple of years, like very dishonest. Majority of what I was saying was lies, and as a result of that, which is not normal, the life could balance it out. As a result of that, what I started doing, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be super honest. I was honest to a point where I forced myself to be honest because I was dishonest. There was no balance. I was here, and instead of following the balance, I went here, right? And I was like, I understand that to make you feel. I hurt your feeling. I understand that, and the goal wasn't to hurt your feeling, but ultimately speaking, it's such a complicated subject, and it's such a complicated concept because you're like, well, I'm not really sorry, so I'm lying about saying sorry, right? And the thing that I said that could have hurt you, I was being honest. So you're mad at me for being honest, and you're expecting me to lie, to apologize for something I'm not sorry for. I was having a very hard time with that concept, right? Very hard time with that concept. It didn't feel logical to me. It didn't feel humane to me. And I know this is crazy talk, but that's what it was. And it was kind of like a click that happened. And that click was like, dude, that click was super simple. It was, dude, you're streaming. That click happened, like I said, 2 years ago. 1 year, 2 years maximum. You're streaming. You're talking with 10 people a day. You're talking with 12 people a day. You're talking with 50 people a day. See, I could get a negative comment and I would answer with negativity. But there's also the law of greater good. The law of greater good is I'm not gonna save myself if I can save 10 people. If I have to die for 100 people to live, I'll do it. In a perfect world, I'm not put in this position. But I would, it's just greater good. And you understand that it's not about honesty. not about how you feel. It's not about how they feel. It's about making the world a better place. You know, as a kid, you're lied to. Hopefully, they tell you Santa Claus is real. And if you're not nice, Santa Claus is not gonna give you gifts. Oh my God, I want a gift. I'm gonna be nice. Promise. I hope you see me, Santa Claus. Then you realize that Santa Claus isn't real, right? And ultimately speaking, people are gonna say, yeah, but it's a form of manipulation. It's like a risk reward. I risk being nice, but I get reward, versus doing something that I want that isn't nice, but I don't get reward. You understand? But ultimately speaking, your parents lied to you. However, it did teach you about being good and being kind and helping each other out, right? And luckily speaking, if we're very fucking lucky, only if we're very fucking lucky, there's like such a low percentage of chances. I got my antenna squared up, blocking my face. If you're very lucky, right? Then as a kid, you were told to be nice. As a kid, the person you're talking to was told to be nice, because you both were taught to be nice, and you can be nice with each other. So like a balance, you know, which is phenomenal. Very rare, but phenomenal. But then your parents lie to you too. They talk about the tooth fairy. The tooth fairy. The tooth fairy is one of the craziest things. The craziest thing. The tooth fairy is what? Is a fairy that comes when one of your tooth. Well, I don't know how world spread it is. I don't know if people in the world know about this. But so basically, when you lose a tooth, you put it under your pillow. Tooth fairy comes in, she put cash. Now the tooth fairy isn't real, right? But, and only but, it is a lie for a good reason. For a good reason. For a kid to be dealing with the fact that he's losing his teeth. Kinda scary, dude. Kinda scary. Holy shit, I'm losing limbs. The limbs, but as a kid you don't really know that, right? It was so cool because your parents are lying to you, but they're protecting you, right? And then you realize that your parents knew how to lie to you just to protect you. Then they didn't have any ill intent. Ultimately speaking, lying about Santa Claus is a very small lie. Ultimately speaking, when you're lying about Santa Claus, you're lying about teaching a kid to be nice. It's not a bad lie. When you're teaching about a tooth fairy, you're scared that he's gonna take the death of his teeth as a problem, right? As a problem. Now, would it be better if it was honest? Yes, but they're a kid, they don't understand. And emotional intelligence is exactly that. See, it's not about honesty, it's not about saying sorry if you're not sorry, it's not about how the person felt. It's emotional intelligence. Something for me will not be hurtful, but for you will be. Something for you will not be hurtful, but from what for me is gonna be. So emotional intelligence plays a big role in there. You know that you have to be nicer to a kid. You can't talk to a kid the way you would talk to an adult. I'm not talking about swearing, I'm talking about reality, right? You have to indulge in their innocence to keep that innocence. You realize that we're all not the same age. I was very late when I'm maturing. There's still times where I'm super immature. My mom, she's gonna talk to me about something serious and I'm gonna laugh. Like, for example, I saw her, like, I think it was last month, but she told me something about, oh, what happened, you don't have a job, you need to find a job, and I'm like, I'm trying to find it, which I was, but now I possibly have one lined up, which is great, and it's a good job. It's Costco. It's a really nice company to work with for long term. And my mom was like, what happened if I die tomorrow? How are you gonna take care of yourself? You're gonna be on the street. And to me, I understand that there's truth to it. But I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm laughing because it's not gonna happen. The chances of her dying tomorrow hopefully are next to none. There's still chances, of course, but next to none. And I'll be okay. And I don't want my mom to die. The fact that she's thinking about dying, and if I'm dying, my son's gonna be in trouble. Kind of cute, but it's kind of funny too. My dad, very realistic. So I told you last 2 weeks, we had a mouse infestation in the building. I had to put mouse trap everywhere. They started, and so what happened was, they thought so the problem started really simple at the lower level. I'm on fifth level. It started really simply. There was a couple of mouse. They put some trap. The mouse went upstairs to the second level. Then we have more. And after 2 weeks, when they realized they couldn't take step, they said, "Holy shit, there's mouse in the building." And I'll be honest, in the apartment, I saw a couple of them. I found a bunch of stuff being open, a bunch of food that I had to throw away because mouse got into it, right? Then I remember about 2 years ago, my dad was like, "Yo, you have so much food in the apartment," and to me, it was such a stupid thing to say. And I'm sorry, I love my dad. How can you have too much food? Most of that foods are canned soup. Most of that foods are fucking ramen, which lasts 3-4 years. You're in my mind, you're like, holy shit. The price of the food is increasing a lot lately. I should possibly stock up. Possibly. And my father is like, "Oh, if you leave the windows open, there's mouse that can crawl to your window." And I laughed because I was like, I'm the fifth level. How are they gonna crawl to the fifth level, find my exact window? How are they gonna know that I have food? Right? And how am I the only person in the building to have food stuck up? I don't know. But it happened. I'm like, shit, my father was right. Human relationships are so complicated. We have different intelligence, different understanding, different perception. The first perception changed who we are. We're fundamentally speaking different people. In a perfect world, that most of your relationship, most of your friendship, most of the people that you're gonna meet can be a 50-50. Which it should be, right? You know, most of the time you realize it's about making compromise. You realize that you value, that you're moral of being honest. Aren't worth hurting people. I There was a story about this a week ago. It's very sad. Very sad story. You just say a side story about racism. There was this guy from a very popular show, which is one of the most popular shows in Quebec. It passed on double. When you think about cable TV, it is possibly one of the best shows on the ratings. It was this guy, and this guy was black, right? And this guy was black, but he was using the N-word a lot. And you're like, okay, well, you're kind of using it a lot, bro. I know that you're black, I know that you're allowed to. And ultimately speaking, if you want to say a word, if you want to say any word, you should be able to. You should be able to speak your mind, right? But you're saying it to a point where you're making other people uncomfortable, which is not cool. And then, that's a true story. Like, and I'm not gonna say the guy because it's not about that. The guy is black, and he disguised himself as a slave over Halloween. True story. And he got in trouble for that. He was saying that it was racially insensitive. And all because he's been on social media, he's been in the media for a couple of years. And every single time that people would say, "Yo, you're saying the N-word too much," he would say, "I'm black, I can," which is true. So when people said, "Yo, your costume of being a slave is very inappropriate," you think he was gonna say, "Yeah, but I'm black, I'm allowed to." And what he said? "I hate ethnicity." And you feel bad for the guy because the guy himself isn't is ethnic. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but you understand that he hates himself, and you feel bad for him. You feel bad for the racist, not because he's an asshole who's racist, but not because he should go fuck himself because what he does, it's not cool. Because maybe in his life, maybe he was a victim of racism so much that he adopts that mentality. See, there's a certain leader of Germany, called the father. I'm not gonna say the name because, again, fuck that guy. Fuck that fucking guy. He was a dictator. He had a special symbol. He was leading armies. He had a couple of rights. You know what I'm talking about, right? And what he did is awful. But it's a poem. There's a poem, and that's, people don't know about that. People don't talk about the poem, and the poem is called Frog, and it's about him being bullied for what he looks like, him being bullied for his background, his Nick background. He was brown eyes, he had brown hairs, in a city where it was a vast majority of blonde hair and blue eyes. And his dream was to have a Aryan race, which was blue eyes and blonde hair. And although he's a fucking asshole, although he's a monster, I gotta ask a question. Was he born or made? Understand? Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough situation. A very tough situation. Like, holy shit. And now, this is the perfect excuse for you to say sorry to a person you hurt, even if you don't feel sorry. About how you make them feel. It's about how you push them to a certain degree. I'm going to be finishing this video on one of the most perfect quotes ever made. The video 30 minutes long. 30 minutes ago, I said about 30 minutes ago I said the song inspired, the 21 Pilots car radio inspired this video. We're finishing on that. Again, the story of the car radio is there's a dude who's dealing with shit, and his car radio gets stolen, and now he can handle the life because he has to overthink. And you realize that it's not necessarily about his car radio being stolen. It's about a pre-existing trauma. And the fact that his radio was his antidote. It's like when you have a sickness like cancer. You're more apt to get pneumonia. And I'm gonna finish on that. It's not about whose car radio you steal. It's about what that person is going through. You can think that something that you did isn't wrong. You can think that something that you did doesn't deserve a sorry. But you don't know what the other person deals with. You don't know what they're going through. And if you don't know what they're going through, you could be the drop of water that make the cup of water overflow. And you want to really be that. And ultimately speaking, I can add a little something else, a little something spicy, a little something for the most valiant of people, the most noble of people. It's not about you saying sorry. It never was. It's about how many people hurt that person and didn't say sorry. Be the better man. Be the better person. It's not hard. You can't expect people to be nice to you if you're not nice to them. And you shouldn't be nice because you're expecting people to be nice to you. The world's a complicated place. It's a complicated place. It's a complex. Human nature is very complex. Social behavior are even more complex. But you have the opportunity, you have the chance, you have the choice to make it easier for you and for everybody else. Why not?